wow, I can really talk, can't I? Sorry.
Love it.
Like 2 hours later, I'm like, stop. Anyhow, and then, once I actually stood with Sasha and really realized like, oh, he can help me in general. And so excited for camaraderie, for support, for people. I did not realize how much I missed that. And no, terrified. There were terror and nerves. There was, because I don't have experience dancing. Like with steps, I can pose like a dancer for maybe 2 seconds. So I don't know. It was, but once I decided and convinced my team that I could do this, that it wasn't going to be too dangerous for me, that I could do this. We do this. We do the things we want to find joy in, and then I'm all in. Thank you so much, Chyna. I am feeling great. I think I realize that if the spirit and the will is there, we all know, my son doesn't love doing homework, but he sure has the energy to play Call of Duty, and so once you realize, okay, these are sticky spots for me and they'll trigger, blocks or whatever. I have such joy the few days that we've been, in this, the joy that it brings. I'm just going to have to be careful with stamina, with things that I'm building, because I've been in bed not in bed totally, but I do things. I go back to bed. There is a chronic illness, real issue, but like, how do you push yourself without pushing yourself too far? Learning these things. And that is true for all of us, whether we have a disability or not. When you're trying something, there is a learning curve. There's, how do I not give up? How do I trust? How do I have joy still if I'm terrified? And so these are all things that I am, embracing with my whole heart. And I hope other people can learn to too, because we all need to support each other in this world and find joy, because God knows there's enough of the rest. Mm-hmm. Right. For me too, I'm finding what my abilities are just as a person, because while I've been busy the last few years, they've been very isolating experiences because, like writing or doing the projects that I've been building other than being on sets, because I did go through a real health challenge and my son and life, I stepped back from things necessity wise. And then you get used to a certain rhythm. And I lost all my stamina. I just did. And I'm not going to just blame it on, I'm in good health right now, but I lost things, and my abilities are much better inside my house than when I go outside and I'm triggered, by sensory stuff, light, balance, not having my dog or cane. My dog's getting used to not having me next to him, for him to do his job. So this is all a progression, and I'm learning it too. So I don't know what people's perceptions are of me, but I'm not representing everyone with MS but what I do wish to represent is finding your joy, finding the things that will give you the light to shift the needle, move the needle, to want to try harder. And that's what I need to do as a mom, to show my son at this stage where it's like, how do we get you off the things and teach you got to grow up and have self-responsibility? And, how do I learn to take care of myself as I push myself and find joy, not terror, because I am in a wonderful place. I'm so joyous. This is the best partner for me. I can't believe my good fortune. And that's what I want to show people, whatever they may think. Like, she uses a cane, I do. I'll use 2 canes. I'll use 1 cane. I'll use no cane. I'll fall. And I'm thrilled to realize I didn't break something. Like, I was so afraid of that, but getting on my horse and then falling off that, literally my horse, not just figurative. Wow, I can really talk, can't I? Sorry.
Love it.
Like 2 hours later, I'm like, stop. Anyhow, and then, but realizing you're not, that I'm really lucky, that I'm stronger than I thought, and that there's some things I need to just rebuild.
It's definitely a learning curve for me, and actually it has been so inspiring, probably one of my most inspiring seasons, because when I met Selma, I actually told Selma like probably 2 seasons ago, I'm like, Selma, you would be amazing on the show. Your story, your journey. And she was so scared.
Well, there's no way I could have. Like my balance was so in a process of healing. I did not have any confidence that I could even last a half a dance. That didn't seem like possible. And now it does seem possible. But I was like, I am not the girl for this show. Like I'm not a cheerleader. I don't know how to support myself. When I'm uncomfortable, I would get a little cranky. And in perspective of realizing what you can do, the only way through is to find my truth, to find people that it can reach. I mean, I'm just a very different person, and I couldn't ask for a bigger miracle to help bring me out of something, whatever that is. I hope I get a chance to really learn.
It's definitely. I think like for Selma, and for me, like to answer your question, when like choreographing, I always want her to shine. I always wanted to have, the best time, the best memory, the best journey. So when you think of steps, I always want to connect the steps, and it really is something really special that I get to witness and that America will get to witness is, Selma did come in with a service animal, a cane, and she would be like limping a little bit. But when we worked on a few things and tried to like control her breathing, control her heartbeat, so much has changed in her. And the way that she's moving, and what it is when we finish the dance, she goes back to like, it's like
it's very interesting.
She's learning to control it, and it's such a beautiful thing because the more in the competition, the more she's going to learn to control it. And I'm personally so proud of her because she's moving. I remember seeing a post of Selma doing like standing on a rock. And it was like, everyone was going completely crazy saying like, oh my God, Selma is balancing by herself, no cane, on a rock. How is she going to dance?
It meant everything to me.
Yeah.
And I was like kind of feeling balletic in the moment, on this rock on an Instagram post and put music to it. And that I thought was the most inspiring I could get for myself. Like that would be the end. Like I'm on my toes almost on this rock. I never thought I could be with balance up by the ocean and things. So thank you. Yeah. To see that.
And then to watch like we would do, we've only had 4 sessions. And then, we would sit back and watch the video of what she just learned. And it's mind blowing. It's like, how is she doing this? How is this possible?
But then when the music stops or things, the dystonia can come back either from exhaustion or a process block. That's a lot of stuff people don't understand. Even people with more radical disabilities than I am, there still is always a scale, just like all our humanity. Stress brings out distraction or bumping or whatever. I wear my heart on my sleeve bigger than a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so I want to change, I want to be able to learn fluidity with this, and build my own confidence in my brain and body. Because I think that is what we have as humans. That is so different. That acknowledgement of self-love and support of people around us.
And
that calms us.
Yeah.
To have our bodies push through things you didn't think you could.
And it really is like when I watch her learn and move, it's something special because like she would come out like I keep saying she, but it's Selma.
It's okay, Emily.
She's right here. Selma explains to me like heat and sun is like her kryptonite. So
I will lose my speech under hot lights, under sun, like just getting a coffee, getting out of the car will be very different than if I'm in a car seat, like with my knees up. I can talk clear. There's just so many interesting things I realize and patterns that I don't think people know even when they have friends with MS, like how this triggers. Even people with MS themselves sometimes aren't paying attention to those things. I'm just a little more dramatic about it. So it is it's fascinating.
It's very fascinating. And it's also like, can this dance show, her learning to dance almost not heal, but will make her control her body? And, you know, like she told me, like, heat is her kryptonite. So I picked her up to go to work, and, you know, in LA, it's like 104 degrees. And she was wearing a jacket with ice. So, you know, she wouldn't heat up. And it's just incredible of how she's starting to overcome so much. And one thing that made me really like, okay, I really want to work on her breathing and everything. It's not just, for me, it's not just a dance show. For me, I want Selma to walk out of this with so much more. And, you know, one thing, I would check in on her and I'd be like, Selma, how are you feeling? What's going on? And she'd be like, I'd say, are you feeling sore? That's my main thing, you know, because after the first day, she hasn't moved in how many years?
A lot.
And she's like, well, the one thing with MS, you know, you don't feel pain. You don't feel.
For me, mine doesn't. My sensory, like I could have a deep, deep tissue massage and I don't flinch, you know, even if it's on your psoas. Wow. Like where everyone's like, you know, I don't feel that stuff.
Right. And then like 2 days later, like when we rehearsed and this and that and worked on the like breathing, she's like, actually, I'm a little sore. I'm like, are you okay? She's like, no, that's actually good. I'm starting to feel it. I'm starting my muscles to actually feel. And that, for me, that was like, okay, this is going to be so special for Selma and myself.
For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.